Okay, so I'm going to show you real quickly how I do some basic research to investigate different interventions, or when I have a client with an issue that maybe I haven't seen a lot of before and I'm looking for some ideas on how to address that. I typically will start with Google Scholar. The BACB provides you access to ProQuest, the online search database, and also a bunch of trade journals. I find the trade journals are really good to, if I'm looking for a specific article and I need to go search in the trade journal for it, or if I just want to be browsing to see what the latest research is about. I typically will start with Google Scholar because I don't have to log into any accounts and it's really very quick. And I generally get access to enough of the research that I need, where I don't need to necessarily go into a lot of other to dig a little bit deeper. Let me show you how I do that. I first pull up Google Scholar, and I'm going to just do a little bit of research on manned compliance. What that means is that this learner that I'm looking to write a behavior plan for, he becomes very upset um, when the adults do not comply with his mands. So he will ask for things, but if he'll often ask for things that are unreasonable or unavailable right now, and he escalates very quickly into aggression as soon as the adult doesn't comply with his mands. So I'm just going to put in manned compliance and ABA. I'm going to look at the authors. So I'm looking to see if these are authors that I recognize. I certainly recognize Greg Hanley, and I this is not an author that I'm fully familiar with, but I've seen the name before. This is in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, and it was published in 2021. So this is going to be potentially a really good article for me and to help me understand man compliance a little bit better. So I'm just going to, you can see right on this right hand side, if there's a link here, then that means that we have access to the full article available online. So I'm just going to command and click the link. That's going to open it in a new tab. If you have a PC, you're going to use different buttons, but you can do the same thing and just open it in a new tab. I'm not going to get too into the article just yet. I'm going to look for multiple articles because I find if I just open up a bunch of articles and then review the articles kind of all at once, then it's a more efficient way for me to conduct my research. I can see here that there's no link. So the assessment and treatment of problem behavior maintained by manned compliance, that seems like it would be a really helpful article. It's in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis. It may be something that I go to JABA through the BACB gateway and look up. In addition, I can look at, again, I'm going to command and click the cited by. So this is going to give me a list of all the articles that have cited this particular article, and I can look to see if any of these are relevant. Treating destructive behavior reinforced by increased caregiver compliance with the participant's mands. So this one would be a really helpful article. W.W. Fisher is one that I recognize. It was published in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis in 2020. So this is a recent article. I'm going to go ahead and open this one in a new tab. And I can just continue to dig down into the cited by or the related articles if I feel like I need more. This is another Greg Hanley in the Behavior Analysis and Practice. That's another journal that we have access to, so I might dig a little bit deeper if I want to read that article. Functional analysis and treatment of problem behavior related to Man's for rearrangement. That one sounds really interesting. That's not specifically this learner's issue. He usually has the Man's that he becomes very upset about is when he's denied access to the food that he wants. For example, he mans for pizza and they don't have pizza in the house. If he mans to go on a car ride, this just happened the other day. He mandated to go for a car ride. His stepmother couldn't find her keys. We can't take him on a car ride if we don't have keys. And he escalated. So we're going to probably skip this one. He doesn't care about the room arrangement. If it was freely available, I might dig into it a little bit more. It is in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis in 2018. So I can go again through the BACB gateway if I want to find this article and look at it more closely. I might look at other related articles. Man compliance as a contingency controlled problem behavior. This is the other article that we had been looking at. That one's already open up here, so I don't need to open that one again. So I'm just going to keep going through these different lists. There's a lot in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, so that might be a journal that I dig into a little bit, and you can see that it's through the most recent years, 2017, 2018, we saw 2020 and 2021. So it might be worth going into JABA just to get a closer look at that. But I like the low-hanging fruit, so I just start with the ones that are freely available through Google Scholar, and then I'll dig in if I need to a little bit more. So, assessment and treatment of challenging behavior maintained by a non-vocal man's function. So, this again, Behavior Analysis in Practice 2020. I'm going to open that article up. That might be helpful. And I'm just going to keep going through the effects of token economy on problem behavior maintained by compliance to MANs in children with developmental disabilities. 2019. It's a doctoral dissertation, so it might be interesting to read, but it's not a peer-reviewed article, so it may not be as relevant. But if I believe that token economy might be an intervention that I would choose, I would go ahead and just read the study. Evaluating the effects of omission errors during token economies. That one's not super relevant. Okay, so I think I got what I need out of that one. I'm going to come back here to Google Scholar, and I'm just going to keep going down through the list. We can check on the related articles. This one, you can see the ones that are purple are ones that we've already taken a look at. Functional analysis of pre-current contingencies between MANs and destructive behavior. That one might be helpful, but it's W.W. Fisher again, the Behavior Analysis Today, 2001. It's a little bit older than some of the other articles we're looking at, but that's okay. I'm not going to go all the way back to 1997. Treating destructive behavior reinforced by increased caregiver compliance. This is one, you can see it's purple, we've already looked at. All right, so you can see kind of how you might go through all of this to find those related articles. You can also filter by time. So if I want to only look at the most recent research, I can choose since 2019 or a custom range. I can sort by date. This is sorted by relevance. I can look at the reviewed articles only. And then if I feel like I still need more, I still need more research, I still need to find more information about this particular topic, I can scroll into one of the articles down to the references, and I can look at the articles to see if they would be helpful, the ones that they've referenced in this article. So the use of symmetrical do and don't requests to interrupt ongoing activities, the control of developmental process, why wait, on component analysis of schedule thinning during functional communication training. That might be helpful if I believe that I'm going to use FCT during this process, which I probably will. Assessment and treatment of problem behavior maintained by manned compliance. We already have that one open. Functional communication training and chain schedules of reinforcement to treat challenging behavior maintained by termination of activity interruptions, behavior modification. So this one might be a really helpful article. I'm going to highlight this title. Sometimes you can click on this and it might bring you, but not today. It's not going to do that. So I'm just going to open Google Scholar in a new tab, and I'm going to paste the title of the article. It's not freely available. We do have access to the, I believe we have access to behavior modification through the BACB gateway. So I might be able to find it that way. Contingencies that promote delay tolerance. That might be a really helpful article. Again, it's in Java, so I know that I can go back and try and find it in Java 2016. I'm just going to, but this one you can see is available here. I'm going to come back to Google Scholar, and I'm just going to continue this. So you can see now I'm kind of going down the rabbit hole of delay tolerance, which is actually very relevant to this particular learner. We might be able to get him pizza, but he can't have pizza right away. We might be able to take him for a car ride, but maybe we can't do it right away. So it's not that we're always going to be telling him no. We just need him to understand that it can't always be delivered immediately. He also escalates when the food he requests isn't immediately handed over. We have to cook the pizza, or we have to cook the chicken nuggets that he wants, and sometimes he will escalate during that time that he's waiting for it to cook. So I might go down this rabbit hole to look at more delay tolerance techniques as well. So I think you can see how this kind of can progress, and you can dig into a lot of these different articles, use the cited by and the related articles. Usually the cited by, what's nice is it'll bring you to newer articles, because it's only things that have been written after this article was published. But it kind of dilutes your search, because it's going to be articles that reference this article, but may not be really related to the topic that you're looking for. the related articles link. That one's also very helpful to find additional maybe keywords. So maybe now instead of searching for man compliance ABA, maybe I want to look at delay tolerance, and I just want to look for maybe I want to look for strategies for teaching delay tolerance with ABA. And now I'm going to find other things that may not be related necessarily to manned compliance, but that are related to how I might build up his tolerance for that delay. This one again, Greg Hanley, Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, 2013. So I just keep opening them in new tabs, and then I can go back and I can evaluate the articles and see what information might be useful in them. So when I want to go back and evaluate the articles, here's my process for doing this. Usually what I'll do is I'll read the abstract, and because I want to make sure that it's relevant to what my client's specific situation, because it's very hard to pull research from things that are unrelated to my specific learner. So, for example, he is autistic, he's 9, so I don't want to be looking at really interventions with very old people. I don't want to be looking at interventions used with adults. I want to be looking for interventions that have been used with children. I want to make sure that, so he doesn't have a lot of language. He has some language, but not a lot of language. So I'm not going to be looking for interventions that require him to use really complex language. He has used token economy in the past somewhat successfully, but he has some pretty significant cognitive delays. So I want to make sure that whatever interventions I choose are going to be, he's going to be able to understand the contingencies. So I'm probably not going to be looking at a behavior contract. I'm going to be looking at things that use a lot less language. Also, services are provided in the home and not a clinic. So I need to be considerate of that when I'm reading these articles. So those are a lot of the different factors that impact what kind of articles you might be looking at. So I will just read through all of the entire abstract. So this is just a literature review. So this may be helpful, and it at least might link me to additional research that I might want to dig into further. So then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go to the discussion, because most of the information that I'm interested in will happen in the discussion. So I'll read through this general discussion, and then, so this is a literature review, so I'm not going to go back and look at their process necessarily. I might look at which articles they found most helpful, which studies seem to provide some useful information, and I might go to those. So let's take a look at another article. Again, I'll just read the abstract. This one seems very helpful. So decreases in destructive behavior averaged 97.4 across cases. So I can see that this one might be really helpful. I'm going to go down. I'm going to read the discussion. So I'll read through the general discussion. I'll see what they have to say about it, how it might be applied in different settings. And then what I'll do is I'll scroll up to look at their processes. Um, this is an interesting table because it provides a lot of information about the different about different schedule thinning. So the tables here are very interesting. This table is fun because it shows you the participant's age, the diagnosis, the target behaviors, and the verbal abilities of each of the participants. So I can see that, my client is similar to some of the clients that are here. 2-word phrases. This is a 3-year-old female though, but there's a lot of there are a lot of participants in the study that are similar to my client. So I can take some of this information and maybe apply it to my client. And I'm just going to keep going through each of the articles in this way. So some of these articles on PubMed, if you go down to the references, these are a really easy way of finding additional articles because they'll provide the link right to Google Scholar. So if there's in relation to man's and function of destructive behavior, so this one I think we already opened. So assessment and treatment of problem behavior maintained by man compliance, that might be another one that we already have open. A MAND analysis and levels of treatment in an outpatient clinic. Treating destructive behavior reinforced by increased caregiver compliance with participants' MANDs. So if I wanted to see if I could find this article on Google Scholar, I can just click on it. I can see that it's here free, and I'll just open that. This is the one we just read. But maybe I want to find a different one. So this one only gives me the abstract. So I can continue to dig into all of the research in that way. I hope this has been helpful for you. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you soon